Hello and welcome to Wolf Creek Training. Today we're going to cover the emergency reload. Now, some of you may ask, what is emergency reload? Basically, you have run your gun out of ammunition. Your symptoms are going to be a slide is going to be locked to the rear and the ejection port's going to be empty, and you're going to have a dead trigger, which lets you know, hey, something's wrong with my gun. So first, let's go over how to set up for emergency reload. First thing you want to do is make sure you do a chamber check, a magazine check, and you want to make sure, while practicing this at home, you have empty magazines or a magazine with snap caps or dummy rounds, which simulates live ammunition. Basically, they're not going to go bang. So, empty magazine, insert that into the weapon, then run your action to the rear, and that'll set you right up for your emergency reload. Now, Glocks and Rugers, you're going to have to trip your triggers to simulate this dead trigger. So, make sure you have an empty magazine in your front magazine pouch. You're going to point in on target, hard focus front sight. You go to press, dead trigger. Straighten trigger finger, move and look to diagnose. Now for the emergency reload, slide is locked to the rear, ejection port is empty. Great, I'm out of ammunition. Now your first step is going to be to check for another magazine. If you do not have another magazine, your weapon is now a $600 forehead thumper. That's right, you're still in the fight, and yes, that's going to hurt like hell. But you're in luck, you do have another magazine. As you index that fresh magazine off your belt, you're going to drop the empty one to the ground. The two will pass in midair. Then insert that into the weapon. Then either engage your slide release or rack the slide to the rear, chambering that round. Then point back in on target and reassess the situation. Now the reason we say reassess the situation is in that 1.5 to 3 seconds it has taken you to clear your emergency reload or malfunction, things may have changed. Perhaps the bad guy has now realized his mistake, put his hands up in the air and said, don't shoot. Can't take that shot. Maybe he's tucked tail and ran out of there. Can't necessarily shoot him in the back. Or maybe an innocent bystander who's texting on their phone, not paying attention to what's going on around them, stepped right in front of your barrel. This is why you must always reassess the situation. So let's go ahead and go through this one more time. So chamber check, magazine check, empty magazine right into the gun, run your action to the rear, and Glocks and Rugers, trip your triggers. You're going to point in on target. Make sure you have another magazine set up in your front magazine pouch, and pointing in on target, hard focus front sight, press, dead trigger, move and look to diagnose, check, drop, index, insert, rack, point back in on target, and reassess the situation. This completes your emergency reload. Now, when practicing this at home, of course, you want to do this with a dry weapon. Once again, dry practice, but do it safely. You want to take a time that you can do basically 10 out of 10 repetitions and do it perfectly every time. Then do 8 out of 10 and then 6 out of 10, then work your time back to being able to perform 10 out of 10 times perfectly. So we got another video coming up here of me demonstrating what it looks like at my 50% speed. So we'll go 2 seconds, 1.5, and then 1 second. So thank you for joining us here at Wolf Creek Training, and we'll see you on the range.